Before we dive into today's video, I gotta tell you about our sponsor app you haven't played since high school, Trademark. You know the one. It's that app. The one you downloaded sophomore year, played obsessively for 2 weeks, and then abandoned when your crush finally Snapchatted you back. Well, guess what? It's back, and it's just as unnecessarily complicated and aggressively pay to win as you remember. Rediscover the thrill of logging in after 8 years to find your village, spaceship, or generic fantasy kingdom trademark overrun by NPCs you've completely forgotten about. Reconnect with those middle school vibes when you thought your username, XSXDarklord420XX, was peak creativity. But that's not all. App you haven't played since high school, Trademark has been updated. That's right, there's a brand new feature that's somehow worse than the old one. Whether it's convoluted crafting systems, loot boxes disguised as treasure chests, or a battle pass no one asked for, there's always something to remind you why you stopped playing in the first place. And here's the best part. App you haven't played since high school, Trademark will flood you with notifications you can't escape. It's like your old MySpace friends poking you on Facebook. Except now it's a pop-up telling you your crops are wilting or your kingdom is under attack. So what are you waiting for? Use my promo code IRRELEVANT to get 50 free gems, which sounds generous until you realize the first upgrade costs 10,000. But hey, at least your high school self would be proud of you. App you haven't played since high school, TM. Because nostalgia and regret pair perfectly with a side of microtransactions. Download today. In 2014, cinema was forever changed. Mr. Peabody and Sherman, a DreamWorks animated triumph, burst onto the screen as not just a film, but a cultural revolution. Audiences across the globe flocked to theaters in droves with lines stretching for miles, desperate to witness the unparalleled brilliance of history's greatest cinematic achievement. Let's get one thing clear. Mr. Peabody and Sherman isn't just a movie. It's a profound exploration of intellect, emotion, and the unbreakable bond between a genius dog and his boy. Critics were united, yes, united, in their adoration. The New York Times called it a transcendent tour de force that leaves Citizen Kane in the dust. Rolling Stone proclaimed it the defining work of the 21st century, and even the notoriously cynical Rotten Tomatoes community gave it a perfect 100%. That's right, 100%. Unanimous acclaim from both critics and audiences. The response was nothing short of biblical. Viewers wept openly, theaters reported standing ovations that lasted for hours, and philosophers scrambled to reinterpret the concept of art itself. Peabody fever swept the globe, inspiring think pieces, academic conferences, and a 300% increase in bow tie sales. But what makes Mr. Peabody and Sherman so revolutionary? First, there's the writing. Every line of dialogue sparkles with wit, wisdom, and heart. The screenplay, often compared to Shakespeare and Tolstoy, elevates the animated genre to uncharted intellectual heights. Mr. Peabody's puns, for example, have been analyzed by linguistic scholars for their unparalleled complexity and layered humor. And then there's the history. This isn't just entertainment, it's education. Forget textbooks. Mr. Peabody and Sherman teaches history better than any school system ever could. From ancient Egypt to the Renaissance, the film takes you on a whirlwind journey through time, leaving you not only entertained but enlightened. Visually, Mr. Peabody and Sherman is a masterpiece. The WABAC machine's journeys through time are rendered in such breathtaking detail that Michelangelo himself would rise from the grave to applaud. Every frame is a painting, every scene, a work of art. The cultural impact? Unprecedented. The movie spawned a movement. Fans tattooed Mr. Peabody's face on their bodies as a symbol of loyalty. Sherman became a universal icon of childlike wonder. Yes, there were even grassroots campaigns to elect Mr. Peabody as President of the United States, a candidacy that many argued would have been the best thing to happen to democracy since its inception. So why, you ask, isn't Mr. Peabody and Sherman universally acknowledged as the greatest film of all time? Well, dear viewer, it is. You've simply been living under a rock. Join the movement, rewatch the masterpiece, spread the word. And remember, a genius dog once said, "Every dog has his day." Mr. Peabody and Sherman, the movie that defined a generation.
I think you're retarded if you use galaxy gas. Don't offer me any because I'm not a dumbass. I remember back in my days, kids used to puff, puff, pass. Nowadays, these kids grab those whippets and huff, huff, pass.